welcome. I don't know if you can see me. Might have to be adjusting the camera here a little bit. But it's been a while since I've been on live, so let me get everything set up. I've had to move my camera stand a few times, so let's see if it's still in a good position. I can see myself now, so it's looking pretty good. All right. I thought I'd show you my shirts that I made. Maybe you've seen my post about the flannel shirts that I bleached to give that bleached flannel shirt look that's popular. And then I went ahead and inked on them also. These are for my grandkids. So if you're on, say hello. And I would like to know who you are and where you're from and where you're watching from. And if you're a chalk designer already or just interested in crafting. So so these are the 3 shirts I did in the last few days. I went to a used clothing store and got some little flannel shirts for my grandkids. This is the youngest one. She is a year old. I got a size 18 month, probably because I couldn't, well, she's kind of into 18 month, but little flannel shirt. So I have a tutorial on my page, on my Odessa Rose page. It shows how to bleach. There's different techniques. I liked using the spray technique because you still get, some coloring like down here that when the hand was flipped up, you still see some of the coloring. So I kind of like that versus dipping it into the bleach water solution. Then it's all going to be kind of at the same level of bleachness. But I kind of like the difference. And then you can mist up and you can drop drops of bleach to have little drop effects. So I just kind of like that idea. And then I turned it around and sprayed a little bit up here to lighten that up, and then did a few drops. So this one after you bleach your shirt, which you use 50% water, 50% bleach, then you kind of let it dry a little bit, and then you spray it with 10% peroxide, 90% water. And then I went and brought them into my kitchen sink and ran hot water over each one separately to rinse all the solutions out. And then once I got them all rinsed out, then I threw them in my washer and washed and dried them. So that's how I did it. I just YouTubed. It's the first time I've ever done it, so I just YouTubed different ways of doing it, and just kind of, I really like the spray technique over the dipping. I thought it would be less mess. I don't have to worry about tubs of bleach water and what to do with them when you're done. And so I just went outside and laid them on cardboard and sprayed them that way. So you can watch the tutorial on that. Anyway, this was Chase's. She is 1, and we did the little Baking Spirit Sprite with some snowflakes. These are going to be so cute with jeans or little black leggings. You can put a little white t-shirt underneath and wear the shirt open. More like a little jacket. So this was Hank's. Hank will be 3 on December 21st. So this was Son of a Nutcracker. And some shirts, like this one, took longer to bleach out. And this one bleached out really quickly. So, this is a little thicker fabric too. I don't know if that's the reason why, I'm guessing. But again, I just did the spray technique. I did them all at the same time. And it doesn't take real long. You just got to wait for the bleach to activate and bleach out the dye and the fabric. So I'm going to button these up. So when you lay them out to bleach, I had them all buttoned up so I could turn them over easier. Which is kind of cool. It doesn't always get the underside. I did lift this up and bleached it a little bit, but I think that's kind of neat. So if they weren't open, they still have the solid color down the side there. And then I bleached a little bit around the collar, of course up the sleeves. And then this is the back side. And again, that was kind of rolled up, and I kind of like that because then that kind of shows the color again down here. if you dip this in the bleach, you wouldn't have that extra coloring on the bottom. So I kind of like how that effect happens. Okay, and then this is Vivian's. She is 5. And see how the color comes all the way down? I just kind of like that. And I did lift this up and sprayed, but I think next time I'm just going to leave that dark all the way down. I think it's kind of pretty. There's just different ways of where you want to bleach and how you want to bleach it. Like on this one, I had it just in a bottle like one of these. And then if you twist it down to where it's almost shut, and then you can just drip on drips of the bleach. And that's how I got the spots. So it's kind of fun. Just to mess with the spray bottle. So, I'm going to button these up. And then we're going to work on a board today. A Christmas Good Cheer is the title of the transfer. I already got my underlying base on it. Oh, here's the back side. I did the Jolly Santa, and then Santa Claus is coming to town. Again, this was rolled up, and so it kind of left the color down here, which I think is kind of cool. And then when you're all done inking, I like to let them dry for like overnight. And then I heat set them with my Easy Press, or if you don't have that, you can use your iron. Super fun. I'm going to get me some shirts and make some for myself. I'm thinking with the poinsettias or the big Santa face or something like that. So, all right. So say hello if you're watching. I know there's people watching, but no one has said anything yet. Okay, so this board I would have gotten on super clearance, probably at Hobby Lobby, and I painted it. It's meant to hang horizontal, but I'm going to end up hanging it vertical. Yeah, so I'm going to have to change the hangers out on this. There's no problem. But I went ahead and did the, I forgot what they call this pattern. The woven plaid. And I just did it in the one direction. And I did it in really, really light colors because the words I'm going to put over it, I'll do in darker colors. So you always want to pay attention or think ahead of how the colors are going to show up off your background. So I want to just do it in really light colors. I used iced coffee, the Marvelous, and actually, what was this one? Honeydew. I'm not even sure if honeydew is the current color or not, but I know iced coffee and mauve are, but a really light green. And so obviously this doesn't fit on here. So I did, I just kind of wanted to make a border so I didn't have to keep replacing the transfer to get it filled all the way across. So I just did it, one of them like this, and then I let all that dry, cleaned my transfer and let it dry, and then placed matching the lines up. And then I did the end. Maybe if you can see that or not. So, and I did it in different colors. So I would have did like this line, lift it up, place it back, did this color, lift it up, place it back. That's a peel or a paste and peel technique. Because if you did this line, then did this line and did that line, and didn't lift it up, then your paste would dry in your transfer. So then if you waited till you're all done and you picked it all up, all this probably would have dried in your transfer and it would have stuck in your transfer and it wouldn't have been left on your board. So paste and peel if it's going to take you a long time to do an area. So I did this, peel it up, then I did this, peel it up, did these, peel it up. So it takes a little bit longer, but you'll be happier that it comes off on your board and not sticking in your transfer. So Melanie is watching. Hello, or good morning. And Brenda, hello guys. So I already did that. I did not wax afterwards or anything. I'm just going to go right into placing the transfer on top. I don't think it'll pick up, but like I said, and I painted this board. I think it looked like it was blue underneath, and I'll probably just put a few coats of, I don't know if I just used paint that I had on hand. I usually go to one of the super Home Depot, Lowe's places and see what mist tints they have, and I'll grab like a near white, or I use brown a lot. I use brown on my porch boards. I buy the wood raw, and the first layer I put down is brown on both sides and the edges and everything, and then I'll put my color on top. So I kind of use it as a primer, and it's just a house paint. And sometimes I'll do that just to neutralize the color. Like if this was a bright color, then I would put brown over it first, and then I'll go ahead and put my black or my, especially the white, on top of the brown. That way it just kind of gives it that wood undertone color, and it's just easier than going through 4 coats of white paint. So just kind of use it as a primer to neutralize color underneath, if that makes sense. So we got this done, and now we're going to do this one. Paste and peel. Nice tip. Hadn't heard of that. Oh yeah, paste and peel. We're going to do paste and peel on this also. So we'll do one line, and then I'll peel that up to this point. Okay, you peel it up, and then you do the next color, peel it up, then you just lay it back down, and you just keep going along. Now this big transfer has a cut line, so if I wanted to do a sign that was this big, then I could do a sign this big, and I could just cut there. Plus, cutting that transfer is going to make cleaning them a lot easier than if you try to put the whole thing in the sink. So I came up with the idea of putting cut lines on them. And even if you had a big transfer and you don't have a big sink, it's not a bad idea to try to find a place to cut it so you have smaller sections to clean, because that can be the tricky part sometimes. So I'm going to go ahead and cut it just so we can manage it better. I should say me, myself, and I. Okay, put those back. All right, so I normally at this point I always check to see what is the top of my board, so I don't put my design on the board upside down. But this one, I told you already, we're going to have to move the hangers anyway, because it was meant to be a horizontal, and we're going to end up with a vertical design. So and this pretty much fits right over my pattern, and we're going to use darker colors pretty much. I might throw in a mauve line somewhere, but these are the colors I kind of used, well, I did use on my I called it, what did I call it, Winter Reminisce collection that I did of holiday signs that I made. So we're going to use the same color palette as that, which is basically a Christmas colors, but red, which now is called candy apple red, pesto, honeydew. If you don't have honeydew, sage is a good color, and I may just go ahead and throw both of those in there. The mauve and black. Okay. And the other color I used on the plaid was iced coffee, but I don't think I'll make any words in that because it's too much on the background. Okay, so let's start at the bottom since I'm already on this area. And when I do place this, when there's kind of all these lines are really, really close together. So when I do put this one back on, I'm going to bring the line in closer. So I kind of want to figure that out so I still have my border like the same distance. That makes sense. And then I want to make sure these sides are even also. So somewhere probably in there. I'm bringing it a little bit closer. Okay. Normally I probably would just stand up and look, but you can also measure the sides. 1.5 centimeters. That's pretty much right on. Okay, good. And we need about that much space down here. I think we're going to be just fine. I'm going to leave this one here. And this is a new transfer. I haven't used it. I'm going to see how sticky it is. Our newer transfers aren't as sticky as our stickers or our transfers were a year ago. So I don't fuzz the new ones much anymore. And this one's not very sticky either. So I'm just going to put it directly on without fuzzing. Okay, so I'm just lining up the sides with this one that's still setting on here. Now it's a matter of getting all the air pockets out. Now we can take this one up, set those aside, and just get it flat. It's not a really super even surface because these are 3 separate boards. So it's gonna get a little messy in the cracks, which is fine. I think that's part of the charm of being homemade, and that it wasn't made on a machine. And that you're gonna have some imperfections. Same with my plaid. It's not perfect, and I kind of embrace that, so it doesn't bother me at all. So I'm just making sure it's laying flat and getting the air pockets out. What were all the words? It starts out with good cheer, which is the name of the transfer. Hot cocoa and whipped cream, Santa Claus, laughter, Christmas lights, candy canes, snowflakes, reindeer, be merry, be bright, and peace on earth. Those are those are the words. So sometimes I like to try to use a color that would be associated with the word, if possible. Like this board even moves a little bit, so it may be tricky to chalk. Let's see. You won't want to press very hard when we chalk, because the whole thing is spongy almost. It's going up and down, so hopefully we'll have a good print. Let's see what happens. All right, peace on earth. I'm kind of thinking green. And then I might just do these small words. I might do in black because I think they'll pop off the board and be seen the best. So I'm going to do be merry and bright in black. And then maybe we'll go to red for the reindeer. And maybe candy canes in mauve. I don't know. I do a green, a light green. So we'll see. No. Let's see what the next one is. Christmas lights. And, we could do some ombre effects. We could do, each word a separate color, like Christmas lights in different colors. So, we'll see. All right. Hi, Elizabeth. What kind of brown paint? Just wall paint. Whatever is in the mist tits. I don't pay. And then I like to use Fusion mineral paint, which I do buy. Fusion mineral paint. Here's some of it. It comes in a little jar. You have to buy these at specialty shops, pretty much. And actually, the store that I sell my designs at sells this paint. And I might have put Fusion Mineral. I can't remember if I put Fusion Mineral paint on this board because I painted it a long time ago, or if I just used, just latex wall paint. I don't really get picky about what paint. I don't use chalk paint. I just use household, water-based latex paint, whatever. But I do love the Fusion Mineral paint. And all my blackboards are painted with that now. And then my whiteboards, I'll usually, since white takes several layers to cover up whatever design is underneath that you got on clearance, then I'll either put the brown on first or just some inexpensive, white paint that a gallon of it that I got at the Mist Tints. And then I'll put my Fusion Mineral on top. And I like it because it has a self-sealer. So it's really easy if you come off your transfer and you have some chalk paste that if it's painted with Fusion Mineral paint, you could pretty much clean it off and you won't see the dye won't go through. So that's another reason why I like the Fusion Mineral paint, because it has that sealer already built in. So I'm prepping my paste here. You want it just where it starts to kind of drip off the spatula here. So it's still a little thick, and we just spritz it with water. It's best to use distilled water. Your house water could cause your chalk paste to mold, so that's why it's recommended to use distilled water. Okay, so now it's starting to be just about right. Alright, and then this is kind of a wide area, so I'm going to use a little bit. This is called the regular small squeegee, but I also have the mini squeegees also, which we will use for the really small areas. And then for a really small area, you can use the end of your multi-tool for really, especially if you have a really detailed pattern, you need just a small area. Okay, so we're going to chalk on it. Just load up your spatula or your squeegee. All the squeegees have an angle, so apply your paste to the angle, and then you're just going to run it across. And like I said, with these boards, I can't quite, they're not the smoothest, so where they seam, where they meet, so I'm just going to have to go in at different angles here. So make sure you get all the silkscreen areas filled in so you have a good print. Don't press too hard, especially on a soft surface, which this is, it's wood, but the boards are moving on me a little bit, so I'm not going to press down real hard. And I put it on pretty thin, so I won't have too much to scrape off, which is probably a good idea if your surface isn't solid, not to put it on too thick, because you can't really scrape it down if your surface is shifting on you, because then it will cause bleeding underneath your transfer if your transfer releases off of the surface. So that makes sense. Okay, so we're going to pick this up and release the paste out of the silk screen onto the board. Okay, see it? And now that it's released, you can just lay this back gently, back on top. And now your paste will not stick in your silk screen because it's now stuck on the board. And I'm just repressing again for the next line of words. And I think we decided we're going to use black on the Be Merry so it shows up good because it's a small font size. It's been a while since I used my chalk. Alright, any more questions? This will take a while. I'll try to hurry along. If you have any questions, just ask. Even if you're watching this later after the live and you have a question, I will go back and look to see if there's any questions, or I'll get notified. So I'm just going to apply it this way. I could have used my little tool with the small bit. I think this will work just as fast, if not faster. I'm a little bit ambidextrous, so I can use both of my hands. I am a lefty, but for writing and eating, but I do all my sports right-handed. So it depends on the task which hand I use. Okay. So we're going to peel that back also, just to release it. And there it is. And lay it back down. And press. This one's going to be the tricky one right here. It's not sticking very well because of the seam of the board. So we'll see what kind of a print we end up with. And I think we're going to go red. Sorry, I'm thirsty. This is an older paste that thickens up faster than the newer formulas. I probably have a candy apple somewhere, but I just grabbed this one. I have lots and lots of paste. I've been a designer, it'll be 2 years in February. Valentine's Day, I joined on Valentine's Day, which was probably a good idea because then I remember the date. But through the nearly 2 years, I've gotten a lot of chalk paste. Okay. I think we're pretty good here. I'm going to grab another larger. Actually, it's called the small squeegee, but it's bigger than the minis. All right, let's see how well this comes out with that crack. There's a crack on this letter here. So, I think the older paste also dries faster, so we need to hurry along so we can get it peeled back. Feel that board bouncing underneath, so hopefully last letter. I'm about out of paste on my squeegee there. Just a little bit more. Alright, I think we got them all. Let's peel up. Not too bad considering the movement of the boards underneath. So I'm going to lay it back down. And now we'll do snowflake. I almost feel like bringing in either gold shimmer or silver shimmer. I'm thinking the gold because I did use a lot of gold on those. Yeah, I did. I did use a lot of gold on the signs that I made in this collection. So let's bring in the gold shimmer and we'll do the snowflakes gold shimmer. The shimmer pastes are thicker than your regular paste, and that is normal. So just so you know, they have a totally different consistency with that glitter in it, so you're not gonna have it as runny, or whatever you want to call it, soft as the regular paste. I got into the red a little bit. Try to stay away from that. The A has the crack of the boards in it, so hopefully it'll come out okay. So yeah, these just take a while because changing colors all the time. And we're just about done with this half, so. Paste kind of builds up on the squeegee, so I just kind of try to get it off of it. That's why I dip it down and scrape it off. Alright, let's finish this up. Kind of smoothing out any lines from the squeegee, so get those out. Peel that one back. All right. Right on this A. Needs to be pressed in a little bit better. Another look. There, that's a little better. Okay, and then we have candy canes. I'm almost thinking of going back to red or the mauve. I don't know if the mauve will show up. I think the mauve will show up good on this big word here. So I might go back to red for candy cane. After all, red is the #1 color for Christmas, right? Now we should be all done, so I'm just going to take it all off. Okay, and then I'm going to fold this in half on itself, like this, sticky side out. And I have a little pan of water down here. I'm just going to lay it in so it starts to work the paste off. Cool. So, turn around. All right. Gold, yes. I will watch the rest later. Okay. Hi, Amy, Emily, Robin. All right, so I want this to dry because I have a feeling the edge of this is going to overlap on my candy canes. So I'm going to blow it with the blow dryer real quick just so I don't pick up any or mess up the paste with my next chance. Alright, and if you have never seen chalk couture transfers, this is a silk screen. This here is a silk screen fabric, so that's why we are squeegeeing our chalk paste through the silk screen onto our surface. And these silk screens are washable and reusable, and we can use them with our chalk paste or inks on the fabric, which is what I did on the shirts that I showed you earlier. Now we gotta make sure this is laying straight, right? First of all, I'm kind of eyeing it this way. And then I just feel like I want to get it nice and close to the candy canes. Of course, I want it to be straight. Probably about as good as I'm going to get, right? So I think we need to we still haven't applied any light green yet or the mauve. So I'm debating on my colors. Sorry, it's taking me a while. Yeah, red. We're gonna do this little one in black again. But I feel like this needs to be a brighter color. Dark green. Santa Claus I might do in gold again. Black. It's not a paint by number. You gotta decide your own colors. That's what's cool about it. Yeah. I don't think I want dark green and dark green on the end, so I'm going to put the dark green here. Let's see what happens. Now we need to peel. We're doing paste and peel. releasing that chalk paste out of the silk screen. We don't want it to dry in the silk screen. So we're going to lift that up. Okay, now we're going to try mauve. And red or gold, maybe. We'll see if we like the mauve. I can't say whether to bring the mauve in or just stick with these colors. If you don't like it, we can always wash the transfer and paste back over it. So that's the cool thing. And I kind of need a bigger squeegee. So I'm going to clean this off with a wipe. Because all the rest of them are out in my stuff to go to my workshop. So I only have 2 of these hanging around in this size. Okay. It's kind of messy, but all right. And the mauve I just used when I put on my woven plaid, so I don't have to put any water in it. So, sorry this is kind of boring, but it's a big transfer. It takes time. I can't go as fast as I want because the boards are shifting underneath. So I'm trying to do it lightly. There we go. Okay, let's peel that up. And our mauve. I'll do this in the light green, black, and then I'm gonna do the red on top. Bring the red back in. I think would be good. So hi Sue. We are just chalking a transfer titled Good Cheer. Has some cute Christmas words on it. Good cheer, hot cocoa and whipped cream, Santa Claus, laughter, Christmas lights, candy canes, snowflakes, reindeer, be merry and bright, and peace on earth. If you're just joining, earlier when I started, you can go back and watch. I showed the bleached flannel shirts that I made this past few days, and you can watch that later if you want to. So, all right, get that line out. I'm gonna peel that up. There we go. Okay, and we'll do black in here for the hot cocoa. Oh, now I got paste on my face. Where's my black squeegee? Strange, I can't find it. Okay. Hot cocoa. I have not had hot cocoa yet this season. I should be thinking about getting some. I loved my hot cocoa at Tangleberry's, my store that I had, which was also a coffee shop. That was the best hot chocolate. So now when I have hot chocolate, it's not the same, and I can't appreciate it because I loved the hot chocolate we made. And if any of you are from Centerville watching and had my hot chocolate, you know what I'm talking about. All right. Peel that one up, and then we'll do red for good cheer. The A on cocoa is kind of messy. It's right in the crack of the board, so it didn't turn out very good, but it is what it is. Okay, I'm just going to use the mauve. I'm just going to dip it in the red. It should be fine. Underneath all this transfer, I did the woven plaid in just one direction in the vertical position because all the letters, all the words are going horizontal, so that kind of makes the horizontal. Some black in it. All right. Done with this one. There we go. Still don't know if I like the pink in it. I'll think about it. And just gonna set that on there. Maybe just a towel. Whew. Good morning, Joanne. Since you just joined, early, if you watched the replay, at the beginning I showed my bleached flannel shirts and kind of talked about them a little bit. If you saw my post about those last night, then you know what I'm talking about. If not, go check out my page and you will see my bleached flannel shirts that I made for my grandkids. All right, let's take a look here. Do we like the mauve or don't we like the mauve? That is the question. Before I seal it, I need to make a decision. It's kind of fun. Kind of gives it more of a modern / retro look to it. I'll probably keep it, but we need to let it dry. And then I'm going to put on some antique stained wax. You like it? Okay, good. It looks better on camera when I look at the picture. Let me pick up my mess here, and then I need to run out to the other room and get my wax paste. I know exactly where it's at. So there's my black squeegee I was looking for. So tomorrow, I haven't talked too much about this, but I have to have surgery. So tomorrow I meet with the surgeon. So I don't know when that'll be. I have a, my liver is herniated into my diaphragm, which is apparently what's causing my coughing. Or coughing can cause that. So it's kind of like which came first, the chicken or the egg. But anyway, it has to be repaired. And it's rare. I do know that so I don't know exactly what type of surgical procedure they will use and what my recovery time will be like. So hopefully I'll get some answers tomorrow. So if I'm out of commission, that is why. Obviously the surgery has to be scheduled, so I'll know more when it's going to take place. But pretty strange. I just went and had my physical and complained again about my cough, so I had a chest x-ray. And they called me that a few hours later and said I had a mass on my lung. Then I had to have a CAT scan. And that's when they started thinking maybe it was the liver going into my diaphragm and pushing on my lung. So then I had to have an MRI to make sure that's what it was. And yes, it is. So it's a strange ordeal, but I'm not in pain. I just cough. I kind of get short of breath. So it's weird. Anyway, you try to look it up, of course, on the internet, and there's not many case studies because it's usually caused by trauma, or maybe an infant would be born with that, but, I'm not an infant and I haven't had any trauma, so it's kind of rare, as I've been told, so that's the deal. Okay, I'm going to go run and grab my wax paste. It's just right in the other room, and then we'll blow dry this really dry, and then I'm going to put on the stain wax so you kind of see how that might change the look of the whiteness and the brightness. Okay, here it is. I just use Minwax paste, and sometimes I'll put this on before I chalk, depending on the surface, either the clear or the dark, because it will seal in paint, so that if you would get some on it and you want to get it off, it just helps seal the surface so your paste is easier to wash off if you get it in the wrong place. Or it also helps to release the sticky transfers off your surface easier. Which is a really good benefit of it. But I also use it to seal in my chalk paste. So I use it as a sealer. So, and then I buy the dark stain one because it antiques my pieces or kind of ages them. So, but sometimes I'll use clear and sometimes I'll use the dark. It just depends on what look I'm wanting to achieve. So there's many reasons and the only time I use actually polyurethane is on an outdoor, like a porch board. Those I do spray with the outdoor polyurethane. But everything else I wax if it's something I'm going to want sealed in. Now if it's a chalkboard that I'm going to reuse and I'm going to wash off and recreate for the seasons or whatever, then you don't want to seal it in. You want to be able to wash that paste off and reuse it. So otherwise I pretty much seal everything with wax paste. And I do it, not only do I like the look of it, but I don't have to go out to the garage or go outside and use polyurethane or spray, any kind of spray. It's just fast, it's easy, and it's done. And then once it hardens, it takes a while for it to dry and harden. It will make your chalk paste and your surface hard. So I'm going to blow dry a little bit. It's a little wet right in here. cool setting on your hair dryer. The heat just adds more moisture. It'll just take longer to dry, so use the cool setting. I keep my rag inside my jar once I have room for it, because it keeps it soft. Otherwise, if you let this set out, it's going to dry and get hard. So I just keep it in there to keep it soft. And then sometimes on these really big surfaces, I will just get a bunch of paste and just chunk it out. And instead of having to dip back in my can and keep getting more paste on my rag, I'll just get a bunch of it out. It saves me time. So just grab a little bit on your rag and just start smearing it around. And you'll see the brightness go away, and it kind of just gets more of a dirty vintage look. I'll even do this on, like just your basic white canvases, just to take that white brightness away. I like to put the wax on them too. So just pick up some more of the paste under your rag and just start rubbing it in. And once I get kind of all these clumps rubbed in, then I'll really rub it in good. I also think the wax, whether it's the clear or the stain, kind of brings the color of the paste, intenses it a little bit more, and makes it richer. So I like that too. Okay, I got all the clumps pretty much rubbed in, so now I'm just going to go around in circular motions and try to get it all filled in. I don't know if you could tell on the camera or not, but it really gives it a different feel once you have the antique or the darkness on it, and the brightness is not there anymore. And the colors are richer with the wax. Sometimes I'll go ahead and rub the wax on the sides, if it's painted wood or whatever it is. Just seal it in too. So I'll just go around the edge and do that. Because I put out quite a lot of wax on top here, so there's plenty to go around the edges with. So yeah, not knowing when my surgery is or how long it's going to take to I can't really schedule any classes, which I'm kind of bummed about because I don't know how I'm going to feel afterwards or even when it's going to happen. So I'll know more tomorrow. I do have a class Thursday night, but then I haven't scheduled anything because I just don't know when he's going to want to do it. But I know I want to do it before the end of the year because, of course, our deductible is, a lot of money has gone in the deductible because of all the scans. What color is the wax you use other than the clear? So I buy this, it's just called Special Dark. I believe it only comes in clear or Special Dark. This color, this brand. That's the only kind I've seen. So it's either the Special Dark or the just plain clear wax. And like I said, sometimes I'll use the clear, but usually I like to put the darker on. It just depends on what I'm trying to achieve. Okay. So pretty much it. I'm going to clean off my little paint can tool that I used to dig all my wax out with. Put that away. And done. Done. I think it might be kind of cool, but I already had and waxed it. If I had painted this edge black, I just think it might have kind of framed it out a little bit. I still might be able to. I'll see if I use my fusion. I just think the black might set it off a little bit. Might make it look cool. Otherwise, it's just unfinished wood. So I might put black on the sides and the top, just to dress it up a little bit. So there it is. It's not perfect. Like that A, it was in the crack and it didn't have a very good, I mean, you know it's an A, but otherwise it's not too bad. Kind of cool. Kind of cool. So yeah, any more questions? Okay, thank you. Yep. I have lots of videos you can watch either on my Facebook page of either lives or videos I've made. Go to videos, or my YouTube channel. I guess you can't really see my face, sorry. Let's see if you can see. There. Anyway, I get lots of questions about how I work with my scrapbook paper when I do that, or other techniques. So I usually have videos on them. If you just go and watch them, it's either easier than try to explain it without showing you. So I guess that's it, guys. I'll hopefully see you all soon. When I know more tomorrow, I'll know how much time I have I can still work before I'm laid up for a while. So if I don't hear from you, then have a happy Thanksgiving. I think it's a couple weeks away yet, but anyway, I still have bunch of projects. I bought some silver trays I want to work with, and if I don't get on live, I won't do that on live because it's going to be a long thought out process, and so I'll probably make a video like I did the shirts, and then you can see what I do with those. So I have some ideas to work with, and I'll see if I can get them done before the surgery or while I'm laid up. I don't know how much pain I'll be in afterwards, so we'll see. Thanks for watching. Thanks for chalking with me, and yeah, chalk with you later. Bye.